So today we're talking about the cat, the rat, and the dog. My shout out to Ben X to explain this, right? So 4,000 years ago, right, it would be very difficult for you to explain centrifugal forces being used to separate cells from the tissues of the three animals, the cat, the rat, and the dog, right? We want to know, are there any medical papyri from out of Egypt, since the teachings tell us that the pig was sent up from Egypt? There are a lot of medical papyri that exist that came from out of Egypt that describes the level of medical knowledge that the ancient uh, Tassetians or the Egyptians had. So you should be able to find this, Brother Ben, right? But I think it's going to be very difficult for you to do such a thing, right? So let's look at it like this. When you're driving your car, or if you go to buy a car, you want to know how many miles are on the car. So when you're driving the car, you have a thing called an odometer, right? The odometer sits over the steering wheel. It's a very small box now, right? But if you look up the origins of the odometer, you'll find that it was a very large contraption, sort of like a hot dog cart, similar to the size of a hot dog cart. Just another example is you have a phone. You hold the small phone in your hand today, but 100 years ago, it was a big box that sat on the wall, right, with a wire to a thing that you stuck to your mouth or your ear, right? So we can find modern contraptions that link back to hundreds of years ago, right, or thousands or 2,000 years ago, such as the odometer that existed. So it shouldn't be hard for you to find a very large box that they use as a centrifuge, because they had to have an airtight containment in order for the specimens extracted from these three animals, right, to be genetically spliced together to produce a pig and insert it back into the womb of which one of these animals. Which animal has a vaginal cavity large enough to bring forth a pig, a boar, etc. And then explain the different varieties of boars and pigs and how did they come about. Did you use different varieties of cats, different varieties of rats and dogs to produce the variances of families of boars and pigs? These are the questions put forth by King Shah, the common sense questions, right? You're going to have to explain the crossbreeding or the cross genetics to produce a pig, and you're going to have to do it in a scientific way. I really don't want to hear the religious jargon. I really don't want to hear all of the mythical, esoterical teachings. I want to deal with science. I want you to give me a scientific method that's provable and that was used to produce this pig. Other than that, I can hardly believe that unless I was blind, deaf, and dumb. So the common sense question is being put forth to those who believe the Master Farad Muhammad's teachings on the making of the pig. Can it be proven outside of your religious dogma? Can you do away with the religious dogma, the psychological tricks, the reverse psychology that was used to get our people to stop eating that hog that was produced from the dog? Stuff just don't make sense. The two words may rhyme, but they don't make sense. So down below, I would love for you to leave your comments, leave your statements. Do you believe that a cat, rat, and a dog was combined to make a pig? Or do you believe that the pig evolved or devolved, right, in nature without the assistance of man, right? So this is the question. This is King Shah. This is another New Black World Order TV Productions. Chopper. Okay, see, I got one like in there. Somebody's in the building. Yeah. Do you think that a pig was made by combining the genes of a cat, rat, and a dog? And how was this possible? How was the understanding given, right, to the students of the Nation of Islam on this in a scientific way? Or do you believe it was given to them more in a religious dogmatic way, right? And then when you attack the dogma, right, they give you more responses of dogma rather than a response that can be rooted in scientific evidence, right? Thank you.